All right. Hello and welcome to this episode of the BC Coding Stream. It hasn't been that long, but I want to continue again with the Sentinel project. Those of you who didn't hear about this yet, it's an open source, and I could have opened the GitHub now that I think about it. Let's do it this way. It's an open source repository on my GitHub. It's an app. It's already on app source. Did I put the link in here? I did not. See? Oh, I did. So you can install from app source. It's free, of course. And the idea is that you can have the Sentinel app monitor and analyze your environment to give you some information, like some things you could maybe do better, or you might want to look into in certain, like in different areas. Right now we have like 8 rules, technical and permissions things, a little bit of performance, I thought. Yes, there we have performance, warnings, info, so different things. And right now it's still not open, so most of the objects are marked as access internal, but I want to change this and I want to get there, and that's why I want to continue a little bit. First on telemetry improvements, and then also maybe on opening this stuff up for external apps. Because then, while those rules are mostly technical things, because that's like the areas in which I'm a little bit better maybe, you could also imagine to have functional warnings, functional rules, and that could be a different extension that is just adding some rules on top of the ones that are already there once I open up the interface. All right, so let's bring you up to speed how I have enabled or implemented telemetry so far. I started on the alert table, which is basically just this big table. Whenever a rule gets created, it would send a message to telemetry. Now I've made this configurable, and let's see if the setup already works. It doesn't seem to work, so let's check this out if I've created that correctly. Find all references. There is no page for the setup, so that's an issue. Let's change that first. And by the way, in case you didn't see this or you didn't see the announcement on social media, because I don't think I've put it into the description actually. Let me change that real quick, because you can join me today on Discord as well, on the BC Professionals Discord, to have a chat on stream with me. If you want to be part of the development, if you want to do co-development, feel free to just come over onto Discord and add your opinion. The music stopped when I did that. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Join me on Discord. There we go. It should pop up in the description. You might need to refresh. I don't know how that works. So yeah, you can of course use the YouTube chat as usual, but you can also today join on Discord. Let me just switch over to Discord. Nobody there yet. Well, somebody. All right. Let's continue with the setup page. 10 T setup. But beware, if you join on Discord, your voice and you talk. Don't need to talk, but you can. Then your voice will be on stream as well, because otherwise it would be a little bit weird if I start to talk to myself. Well, I'm talking to myself all the time, right? It's better if we have a conversation and folks can hear both sides. No, Ansible false. Yeah, no permission set, that's right. Let's fix that. I'll also rename. By the way, if you didn't know, I think the CRS extension, is it called CRS from Waldo? Where is it? Yeah, the CRS extension from Waldo adds it automatically still, the suffix or affix, depends on how you have it configured. But if you have your affix as part of the namespace, and I believe it has to be at the very start of the namespace, you can omit this. You don't need to have this on object names anymore, so saving a little bit of space for the 30 character limit. Alright. General. And then we have one setting for now, which is the telemetry logging. Let's also put in a tooltip here. And you can control. Does it have to be specified? Specifies how Sentinel emits telemetry. Data is fine. All right. And also, I think this currently just supports daily and OnRule logging, and by default is daily. I can switch it to OnRule logging, but I also want to enable off. Because if you don't want to send any data, you shouldn't be forced to. Right? Alright, so this is fine. We don't need any actions on the setup. And the permission set's still missing. Alright. Let's see if that works better. Sentinel setup, there we go. What happens if I do not have anything selected in here and I try to read that field? Because no option should be daily, right? Well, the zero should be. Did I not? Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Well, not a problem, but something to be aware of. Yeah. Now, since I already created the record, this will probably not work. Oh, because I deleted the setup. Should this be allowed to delete the setup? Wouldn't say so. Nope. On the page. That looks better. Okay, remove this one. We have daily as the default. Now it should probably... Do we have an install code unit already? Nope. But before I ran the first time at all, I probably do not need to have the setup at all. And then I do the save get, I do the init. Okay, that should do the trick. Okay, that should work. Okay, and then I can, if it's OnRule logging log usage, and then I have the telemetry logger. No, oh yeah, this part is still missing. So this is on register telemetry logger, and then I need the event to actually attach to the daily telemetry, which is, I don't know why this snippet is so stupid. Telemetry management on send daily telemetry. False. Log Sentinel telemetry. Yeah, well, it makes sense that this doesn't have any parameters. No. How does this do this log usage? And that's an internal for the rule or the rule. So it's just a alerts. That's it. No, not begin. Repeat. Ah. Okay, there we go. And in case if you haven't seen last stream, I believe that I actually streamed it. The interface has a few more functions, which lets you control custom telemetry dimensions and descriptions, which is called from here. So I have severity, area, and ignore, as well as the rule code, which is basically the alert code is basically the feature telemetry code thing. Where is it? Event ID. There we go. This gets logged by default, but then the interface is called, which lets you add your custom telemetry from the rule, and this is how it looks like. It will you get the alert record, and by reference the custom dimensions dictionary with those things already, the default values already added, and then you can just add whatever is custom to that rule, and afterwards it will get logged to telemetry. And this is just the description based on the unique identifier of the alert and the alert type. You could read additional information, but in this case I think I just used the short description. Okay, One thing I forgot about the telemetry logging. In here, where is it? Where did you go? There we go. We need the setup. Setup, Sentinel setup. If not daily, then exit. Which will basically make it not do anything if it's set to off. I didn't think this through badly. All right, so that should make telemetry attach to the daily telemetry. Let's see. Here we have the permission set, we have the Sentinel setup page, we have the daily telemetry, which you can control here. Now, one thing I wanted to add more, even on top of that, was to let you control this on the rule set. Let's see how that's gonna work out. There we go. This is what I want to switch. Now we have, what's this? We have nothing so far with the rule set. Let's see. Will rerun. How did I implement the rule set though? First need to find out how that works. Oh, in the new, okay. I was wondering, like, wouldn't this be part of? Because here we have the severity, which is part of the rule set. So if it's in the rule set, it will take the severity that's configured in the rule set. Otherwise, it will use the one which comes by default from the implementation caller of the rule. And if, by the way, the severity is disabled, then it will not create the rule at all. This is how it works. Because if you go into the list here, you can do related rule set. And there you can say, well, rule number 6 should be critical. Not that it's going to do anything yet, apart from logging this also to telemetry. It lets you configure how, like, yeah. I mean, it's self-explanatory, I think. Now, what I wanted to add here was, maybe I don't even change the severity, but does it work if I don't? Well, okay. Okay, this also needs to be changed. All right, one step at a time. Rule set. Let's first add the telemetry logging in here. Field number 4, for whatever reason I don't have a field number 2, which is fine. How did I call this on the setup? Yeah, that's perfect. Let me grab this from here. And it's gonna be field number 4. The init value is daily. But not on here. Here the init value will be nothing. Because then I will be able to check against that. Do I want to let's explicitly define the empty value, because that way users will be able to change it back to empty. And that way we can better check this in code. And I feel like this should be something we write a few tests for, because it's getting complicated. All right, rule set table, rule set page, telemetry logging, like this. And then in the alert table, new alert. Now, where is this used? Oh, it's... Let's also add the empty value in here, because with the rule set, maybe you want to revert it at some point to take the default one again without deleting the line. All right. Hey, Brad. How's it going? No, I lost my train of thought. Severity, empty, exactly. Table, because if, only if we can get this, and if the Sentinel rule set is unequal empty, we want to use that, because that now, before it was that way that if there was a line in there, we could assume that it was to change the severity, because that was the only setting on the rule set. Otherwise, you can just delete the rule set line again. Now with the telemetry, maybe we don't want to change the severity, so we leave it blank, which inherits the default one. And we just want to change the telemetry setting. So now, only if we can get the rule set, so if it exists and if the severity is empty, we will unequal empty. We will take that severity, otherwise we'll take the default severity. And if it's disabled, we'll exit. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, please somebody let me know. But I think that should do. Now, that's that. Now telemetry. And I feel like we should move this in here. Right? Because then we don't need to do it twice. No, because we don't know from where it's coming. What's the best way to manage that? Maybe let's maybe put a function onto the setup table. That makes sense. Get telemetry logging setting, and it will take the alert code as a parameter, and it will exit, yeah, like this. Because then we can also read the rule set, and if we can get this, and then same thing here, and the telemetry logging in the Sentinel rule set, telemetry logging doesn't equal, wait a second, empty, then we'll exit. And this doesn't work like this, Copilot. We'll exit the telemetry logging from that, and otherwise we'll do daily. That's not good. We'll do rec telemetry logging. And can't we do that's super neat. That's actually nice. We can define on the setup table, on the table even, not even on the page, but it's on the table, that we do not allow to turn it back to none, because that would break logic. On the setup, it has to be either daily, which is the default, on rule logging or off. And on the Sentinel rule set, you can set it back to nothing, to empty string, to prefer the setup instead again. I think that's good. And let's also do rec.safeget if we cannot get a rule set, or if it's empty. Okay, so what's the complaint here? Oh yeah, we need read permissions on the rule sets. Perfect. And not sure if it's really adding much value, but we don't need the severity, don't need to read the severity, and we can also do read isolation to isolation level recommitted. And on the setup as well. All right. That's that, which means we can now do this instead, and I just saw something. Here we want to do the isolation level in the safeget, which is always the same, because we do not want to, if we do safeget, we probably don't want to write things. Or do we? Yeah, we don't know. Could be a get in with intent to write the setup, so let's move it here. And set load fields, telemetry logging. Is this an issue if I do read isolation recommitted and then say insert? It will probably do read like log escalation something automatically. Yeah, I probably don't want to care about it since the insert just happens once and then never again. Okay, so that's that. Let's go back to the alert table. So if on rule logging, then log. Okay, that's also in place. Now let's change this one here as well. Get telemetry logging setting, alert code. Equals daily, and then we need to do that in the loop. I was just thinking, because this will mean that for every alert, which potentially could be a number of alerts, because it's not for every rule, it's for every single alert, we'll do the setup, get TelemetryLogging setup, which will eventually do a safe get on the setup, which will do a get on the setup. If this is something I want to do, or if it's just bloating up the service with too many SQL statements. But then again, and I could do something like, since this is a global variable, like not a global, a local variable, but it's the same variable on every loop, on every iteration in the repeat until. That means that global variables in the table will persist, and I could save if I already read the record and do not read it again if so. But I will probably, not sure if I will run into runtime issues, errors, but I will definitely have wrong logic if somebody changes the setting during the process, and then it would not reread the record after that change. So I will probably just keep, let the service tier manage this to cache this correctly, and not care about this too much. Okay, so if it's daily, then we'll log on daily telemetry, and if it is, where's my alert table again? If it is OnRule logging, then I will do an insert. Both probably doesn't make any sense at all. So let's leave it like this, and let's give this a try. Rule set, so I can do, that's nice. Here I also have the empty one. Now let's go to the Sentinel setup. I can't type anymore today. Sentinel setup, edit, new. Okay, this is daily, and the values allowed kicks in. I cannot change it. Do I have the thing to recreate? No, I have it on forcing. That's interesting. Why doesn't it save my setup? Did I do something wrong here? What is that? I mean, I have to be missing something. Primary key. Not being false is fine. This is the primary. What the hell? It doesn't save if I don't change that value. That's interesting. Really interesting. Okay, but what doesn't matter. Job queue entries. We have the... Is that the right nice one? What? You cannot see my code? What's going on? You should be able to see my code. At least my stream preview shows it to me. So let me know if that works now. Because I had it already that this like OBS was buggy or something and it froze. But yeah. Thanks. Yeah, but yeah. Could be working. So okay, let's continue. This should be the one which is emitting the telemetry daily. And I'll probably need to test this later if it's working correctly because it's running in the morning. So that should emit all the routes. Let's give this a commit because I think it's a good wrap up for that change. Not sure if I will wrap up the stream though. Okay, so we have the permission set, we have, and I like to go through the commits, the changes I did before I commit the commit, because I want to review my own code a little bit at least, to see if I changed anything I wouldn't like to commit. This seems to be right. This is also correct. This is correct. Yep. The setup page. The setup table changes. TelemetryLogging. And on daily telemetry from the telemetry management. All right, let's see what Copilot comes up with. Commit message. That's actually long. I don't think I've ever seen that long commit message from Copilot. Oh, that's definitely new. I only had always the title, but this is nice. Cool. Now I forgot something. I do have a changelog. Change logging to daily, give option to disable log to all instead of extension publisher. Yep, that's right. And we also added ability to turn off telemetry completely turn off telemetry. No, not complexity completely. And ability to control telemetry via rule set per alert individually. Right. Save. Did it change anything else? I don't think so. commit and push. So let that run already. Now, let's see. That was telemetry, and I think that should be working now. Again, the telemetry logger should already be set to send to all. So as soon as I will push this to app source, everyone's getting telemetry. So that's nice. And then I'm not sure if I should be working on, like if I should open up the interface already. I tried to add some documentation to it, and I feel like that's like the interface is getting the job done as of right now. But once I flip the switch here, I will need to obsolete it if I ever change anything about it again. So that's why I was a little bit hesitant of doing that from the very start, which was a good thing because then I could just add the telemetry functions. Or if I should invest a little bit of time into getting the automated tests up and running, because I don't have any so far, which is also not the best solution. Because I think, or like, I mean, we could work on another few rules. I think there were a few ideas still outstanding. Let's have a look there. Into the wiki and to the roadmap. So yeah, some kind of notification setup. That could also be telemetry, to be honest. Custom telemetry is already done. Job queue runner with automatic setup and a rule to inform if the job queue starts missing. Let's see if I've done that, because that's actually important. Setup, telemetry logging, Quotient telemetry helper, run all alerts. And I believe I have some kind of notification. No, I have, wait a second. I have rule number 8. Scheduled analyzer is not configured. With a quick fix even. So I have that part done. There we go. With a quick fix. But I've never tried that quick fix, to be honest. So let's give that a shot. We'll rerun. Will take a second, and then we get this one. Scheduled alert is not configured. Let's do autofix. Do you want to create a job queue entry? Yes, please. Record already exists. Good thing I debugged this. Why does it exist though? Oh, because it gets a GUID as ID. But doesn't that get assigned automatically on insert? On insert. Create GUID. Let's see what's going on there. We already have an ID. Does one of the validates insert the record? That would be interesting. The evaluate inserted the record? I want to see that again. So we don't have a GUID here. Well, it was uninitialized. Now it is initialized, but we don't have a GUID. Now this was object type to run, object ID to run, earliest start date. No, that one was it. Oh, let's look up. Because it does a reschedule. And then an enqueue task. Interesting. Okay. Good to know. Let's move that at the bottom and skip the insert. This validate will insert the job queue entry. Because that is worth a documentation, because it doesn't make any sense at all. But okay.
Evening.
Good evening. There is somebody on the Discord. Andy.
Hi, Stan. It's Andy. How are things?
Good, good. Thank you.
The turn on camera. Oh, no camera. Fair enough.
Yeah, I cannot have my camera on Discord because OBS needs it.
Ah, of course. How is things coming with Sentinel?
Well, I had a break due to Christmas and holidays and vacation and everything. Brad just said on YouTube in the comments that he missed that Discord was an option. There should be a link in the stream description on YouTube if you didn't join the BC Professionals Discord server yet.
Let's get Brad in.
So, all right. Seems like my job queue entry is working now. Yeah, so I had the break and now I want to try to pick up a little bit speed again to get it out and to get it extensible. What? If I do the validate of the earliest start date time at the end, now it didn't insert the record. I don't get this. Okay, let's add the insert back in and let's see if that works. I don't think I've ever inserted a job queue entry via code. I mean, I didn't check my YouTube, Brad, but I did change the description, so it should be there. Let me double check. It should be there.
I sent Brad the link on WhatsApp.
All right.
Oh, so you're also, this is, did you always use Linux for AL coding, or is that a new thing?
I think I'm soon finishing the 3rd year.
Okay.
So not always, but long. But let's keep the Linux questions for next week's streams.
Okay.
So. So now that seemed to have worked. Let's look at the job queue entry. It's there, it's ready. It's scheduled. I mean, it looks okay. Yeah, to edit, I need to set it on hold, so I would expect this to run.
It's on like the once a day, isn't it? With the
Yeah, it should run once a day, obviously, at midnight, if possible, because it could take a while, depending on the number of routes and the number of alerts that it discovers. And then job queue entries. The telemetry management, at least on my end, no, not edit list, is scheduled for 8 AM. So it would finish to create the Sentinel rules, hopefully within 8 hours, and then emit the new telemetry signal with all the rules. So that way it would be a fresh view on things. At least that's the plan. Alright, that would be a fix for the job queue rule. Refactor, improve job scheduling. This is impressive. Okay. Now let's go back into the backlog. Where's my edit button? Oh, I'm not signed in. Yeah, that's a problem. Right. Job queue scheduling should be working now. A card page to view details about alert in a better way. Now this is something I'm not sure if we actually need that anymore. What do you think? Would it be good to have a card page to view this in a different, like in more structured way?
Yeah, I reckon so. That much. The lines are so chunky. So yeah, a card to view them makes it a little bit easier on the eyes. But I mean, it's a nice to have. I say. I mean, that one is pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, the entire idea is to really inform the user about what this is about. So a long description, and I need to check the table. I don't remember, but I think it was 2048. Yeah. So there is plenty of space to give a description. And everything beyond that, in case you haven't seen this yet, is just show even more details. It should be something, I mean, it's up to the one writing the alert rule. You could do a message box or I just open the wiki on GitHub. So you can...
I guess the benefit of doing a card page right now is for future stuff. You might, like if you add other things on the rules later on, more fields or whatever, then you've got a place to put them all, and then have the list a little bit tidy.
Yeah, and I mean, it could be an option to hide the long description from the list as well.
Sure.
Just have like code, short description, severity area, and ignore, and have those two, action recommendation and long description, on the card instead only. That could, and the short description could be a non-multi-line, and then everything would be a little bit better maybe.
I mean, that is the normal, that's what you expect to see in Business Central, but having said that, you can get quite a good overview of a lot of rules at once by looking at them on this like chunky line type page, so maybe it's not a bad thing.
Let's do that, why not? Oh, and by the way, I think I didn't talk to you since you have been recognized as MVP, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
When was it? January 1st?
Yes. Yeah. January. It was. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. It was the.
Well,
it's pretty wild, really.
You must have been nominated, so the surprise.
Well,
can't
I
be
mean,
that
yes,
much.
right. Exactly. That's what everyone says, right? So, like, you have to apply. You know, like the form is not so short.
Yeah.
But still, yeah. I mean, it was Charlie Phipps nominated me, and you know, he kind of helped me through the whole process, helped me get the form together and all the good stuff that you got to do, right?
That's nice.
And then it's like, yeah, you put it in and you wait. There's 90 days, and probably they reach out to you for an interview. So I never heard from anyone. So I thought, like, oh well, you know, never mind. We'll try it another time. So yeah, that was the surprise, I guess.
Yeah, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Permission set. Sometimes, I don't know why really, sometimes the generate permission set as a L file doesn't show up. And I don't know why. Maybe the debugger is blocking it.
There it is.
Interesting. Right. I did create a code unit. What am I doing? Alert card. I was wondering why can't I set the caption on the page? Really weird. Okay. And now something's bugging, so let's reload the window. Alert card, and this has to be the alert table, and this will be general as usual. Let's see. The ID, I think, is really not important. Alert code, then short description, long description. Maybe area, severity, short, long, actual recommendation, and ignore. And then
What was the little tool you used there to pick the fields? Is that part of AZAL stuff, or is that different?
Yes,
AZAL,
that is
okay.
this extension for everyone, like to have it
Nice,
on the
yeah.
stream as well. This didn't work now for some days, and I'm not sure if this was the preview version or something on Linux. And I suppose it's just a Linux problem because that's usually how it is.
Yeah.
And I really it's been crazy. It's like you make yourself so dependent on those tools. Also, this is the next one. I like to save a few lines and just collapse empty brackets when I can.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
And like here, it's still a manageable list, but if you have long pages or reports or like queries or something, it can really save some time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, this should not be extensible for now. And again, the permission sets. Oh, and I think I need to save it, right?
What's the tool that's revising you, giving you that advice, like the permission sets and the extensibility?
That is
warnings?
the lintercop.
Ah, right, okay.
It is. I think we have quite a number of different rules here. For example, here we have, oh yeah, that makes sense. But we also have this one. I looked at the beginning of the stream. I'm on the alerts have a field called unique identifier, which I just use, for example, in which do we here? This is DevScope extensions. So I just save the extensions app ID in here. So I have a unique reference point to identify this alert, because the rule is not identical, obviously, because I can have multiple extensions in DevScope. Then I have multiple instances of the rule number 2, alert number 2, and this makes it unique. So I just called it unique identifier as something generic. But then when I try to get the extension with that field again, it complains about because the primary key field is of type GUID, and I use a text to get, which works, but it could lead to some issues. So that's, I didn't know about that rule either yet. So apparently I'm always doing it right. So yeah, lintercop. Also, to have it on the stream, if you just search for lintercop, you can install, and then you can open, you get this handy tool here, which lets you not only define the lintercop, but also other code cops, and you can just select which one you want, and it will update the settings for you.
Beautiful.
All right, let's get back to where I was. I wanted to grab actions. Now those are record functions. I think find new alerts doesn't make sense on the part. Set to ignore, clear ignore, probably does make sense. And then full rerun not, more details definitely yes, autofix, show related information. Oh yeah, that's a different one, and I didn't remember that I had that one. This one will do, you can either do hyperlink to show information about the rule, or the related information will take you as close as possible to the point what it is warning about. In the case, the extension management. I cannot add filters, I believe, so I just open the entire thing.
Pretty nice.
Or users with super permissions will just open the user card exactly to the one you have an alert about. All right, so that's that, and then now all of those need to be promoted, I would say. It's really weird, the style guide for this is the underscore promoted for some reason. I think that was how Microsoft introduced this in their examples, and that's the only case in the entire AL style guide thing, like recommendations, where you actually use an underscore, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Or, well, and event subscribers, that's where I use underscores, like the purpose of my function and then the event I'm subscribing to. And maybe test functions for the names as well. But that's really rare that you see underscores in AL, I think. Okay, now to connect everything, this has to go into the list page, into the card page ID, and that should do the trick. on the other screen, I'm seeing like the view count of the stream, and at one point it went up to 7 viewers at the same time. I'm impressed how many people don't have anything to do on Friday evening. Anything better to do than watching me develop. Yeah, it should not be editable. That's definitely a thing. And I need to rename this file still, because it's still called a code unit. Alright, and editable false. Let's republish. Oh, and I think we need a few multi-line settings on here as well.
Would you not have the ability to? Can you edit the? Where do you edit the long description and short description? Is that somewhere else?
You don't edit it at all.
Yeah, okay. It's the part of the setup.
You don't. I think you don't edit even the ignore thing. You don't edit because it's a different table in the background.
Yeah.
And so there is nothing you can edit here. You shouldn't be able to delete those either. Wait a second.
It's a kind of edit.
No, because what you would do, you would set them to ignore. I mean, I can show this. Let's take this one, for example. Let's say ignore. And then they go away because they're filtered away.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't delete them. I mean, you could, and they shouldn't, I mean, there is no problem with deleting them, but...
I mean, how would you get them back? It's kind of messing up the tool.
You can... Oh wait, you get it back, and if you delete it, you need to rerun.
Right.
But if you have it to ignore, you can remove the filter and then say stop ignoring.
Cool.
I will leave it on because it doesn't matter. But I wanted to add MultiLine. This is a MultiLine, and this is a MultiLine. Short description, I think. How long is it? No, 100 characters should be fine without MultiLine. Now, the only thing I'm not sure about is with the long description being 2048 characters, if the long description with its 3 lines is enough. Yeah, that's not better.
What about if you make it the page wider though? What about?
It will make it wider, but it's still
a little bit better, but it's not. Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. Let's do some page designing here on stream. Let's move those. First, let's move those to separate groups. Long description. And let's say, oh yeah, that doesn't work. A group. And let's say show caption board. How long is the action recommendation? Let's first get this one going and then do the same thing with the action recommendation afterward. So we have a few options. I'm thinking if this now doesn't really help much, we could use the HTML editor with edit mode false, which should hide all the controls and just give a wider box, like a bigger box. I don't have any idea how much actually 2048 characters is. Wait a second, do I have...
Can you specify in the code for a page to open in wide mode already, or is that
not that I know about?
Okay. I think someone did. There was like there was a Chrome extension that did it.
Really?
Where something like JavaScript thing, I guess, or something, which was
probably.
like always open wide. It's like the first thing I'm doing whenever.
Don't I have text power tools? I do not have text power tools. That's another one.
So is that where you're going to automatically insert some lorem in there?
Yeah, exactly. That one is really crazy. And I thought, yeah, it had number of items. Okay, I expected. I wasn't sure what number of items means because I selected paragraphs. So let's do sentences. Let's do this and let's see how long this gets. $318. 3, 6, 9. $2,500. See, 2009 characters. Let's try this. Yeah, I don't care about this qualification right now. Let's check out how it looks if we do the control add-in. User control. How's that called? Video player, web page viewer. Email editor. Let's see if that's even the right one. I feel like... Oh! This was... Aha, yeah, I remember. This wasn't a control. This wasn't a control. Alright, so this is not valid for... big text. What's big text? Okay. Let's read up on big text. Well, okay.
It says, yeah, anytime you need to store or process more text than is allowed by standard text, it's not indexed or searchable. It's an ideal choice if you handle a large text inputs without worrying about typical text length limits.
For example,
Primary for storage, temporary storage, data transfer, rather than structured database storage.
the maximum length of big text is
Wow, massive.
massive. 2 gigabytes.
Okay. Small, yeah, like it's like a temporary. It says, I'm reading here, like it's intended for temporary storage, manipulation, data transfer.
I mean, we definitely won't need 2 gigabytes of
No.
text, but I'm just curious.
I mean, you dump in, you know, like if, I don't know, like an XML or some payload,
Yeah.
right?
But I've never hit
like
any limitation with the regular text.
Right.
It's what I'm. And there is no documented limitation either. Like it doesn't say anything. It's it represents, what did it say? Same encoding or no encoding as .NET strings. Interesting. I would have hoped that it somewhere says how to decide. Because here it says like big text 2 gigabytes. The normal string method cannot be used with big text, but yeah. Why would I like? Where is the point where I decide to switch? Okay, but let's do not mess with big text then. Let's just do normal text and do this, so we can give this a try. Steve is saying hello. Hello, Steve. If you didn't see in the description, we are also, and Andrew is here with me on Discord. So if you want to, you can come join us. The link should be in the YouTube description. So now it does compile, so let's see how that looks, if it even displays anything. That's a text box.
Hey, Steve.
Hello. Switch over to. All right. So that's a text box. So let's go with that one. Oh well. Let's add a few line breaks because I'm curious whether I will be able to scroll if it's longer than that text box.
Steve's saying here, I have no idea what I'm doing. Discord. Oh, I mean, there's nothing to know. You can click to unmute yourself and then chat away. Ah.
Seems like there are some technical difficulties.
I can hear something from Brad, but not speaking.
I don't have a headset either.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
That worked, whatever that was.
If Steve can't figure it out and I can figure it out, we're in.
Does our conversation come out in YouTube? I guess not, hey, Stefan?
It does, of course.
Oh, it does, okay.
At least that's how I try to set it up. So the music, I have the stream music not coming through in Discord because I basically didn't know how. So music is just on my headset and on stream, but yeah, conversation should be on YouTube as well.
Okay, this is wild.
Hey, Steve.
Hello.
How are things?
So
yes, very well.
As we're talking, we're annoying Stefan and distracting him from code, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a try. So
Okay. Well, I can't contribute much, so I was just going to watch.
which is absolutely fine.
I'm in the same camp.
The only the benefit on Discord is that you see it more or less live, but maybe in a little worse quality. I'm not sure. So yeah.
Yeah, YouTube looks like a tiny bit crisper, but we can still see what's going on.
I'm here just to heckle.
100 characters. Let's add a few lines. What I'm trying to do here is to get a multi-line string going, so I can see whether I can scroll. Yeah, 2-string doesn't work. I will be able to scroll down in that multi-line text box there I created, without having it editable. In case anyone was wondering. Because apparently that HTML rich text editor doesn't pick up the backslashes as line breaks. So, and it doesn't pick up anything as line breaks. That's interesting.
We have had it's been a nightmare trying to do proper formatting and line breaks. We tried to do it in other contexts, and I don't know that we found an answer.
Didn't they do a recent change on with config packages where you could pull in stuff with line breaks on long descriptions on the sales purchase order or something?
I don't know about config packages, but in AL we tried to do line breaks on a dialog or a window, and my recollection is it just didn't work. I need to check with my developer though.
Yeah, well, if you have a message box, it's easy. There I can tell you right away how that works.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, double backslash?
No, just a backslash. That's 2 line breaks.
Oh, 2 line breaks. Okay. I forget the dialogue of what we were trying to do, but whatever we tried, it did not work.
No, in general,
or it was inconsistent.
In all message boxes, in all tech, everything, line breaks is backslash, as you can see here. So if what I expect now, I'm just expecting this, and the console is a little bit annoying. It's just the rich text content which makes it not work.
Got it.
Because I tried, in case you missed, I tried with the backslashes before. It didn't pick it up, so I thought that maybe it's just the backslashes don't work. I tried with the append line. They see there we have line breaks with the same code, and then once I use the rich text editor, it doesn't work anymore. So,
have you tried /r/n?
/r/? the
yeah, /r/n.
This is basically what the append line does.
Okay, got it.
It will followed by the default line terminator at the end of the current text builder object. So you can do append or append line on the text builder. But I expect this to be some sort of problem with the rich text content. So let me have a look again at what they're doing here on the email body thing. something with colors and nothing more. I have a feeling that this is HTML. Which also shouldn't be an issue, and then I just need to reformat this a little bit. Did I uncomment the rich text now? I did. And there we go, line breaks. It's HTML.
One question, Stefan. Why are you using a cloud sandbox and not a local Docker thing?
Mostly because I want to save resources for the stream. And if I want to use a local Docker machine, I would need to have a Windows VM running.
Right.
So that's why I use cloud.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm sometimes also using Alpaca for streaming and in general.
Sandbox is better too, and we also have another guest who just joined the Discord. I see. Is having a big party now.
Thanks for the moderation,
Okay.
because I have OBS on my spare screen. So. Oh, hey AJ.
Hey, seems to be a nice hangout on Friday night.
Yeah, just a disclaimer or a heads up. You're recorded on stream if you're talking.
I know, I'm aware.
Okay, all right.
I won't swear.
Yeah, then I need to mark the recording as not for kids. All right, so I figured out why the rich text content didn't give me any line breaks. Now I need to figure out how to make this long description do. Oh, come on. Okay, I will need to put it into a text variable anyways, so. Long description. Text. All right. Now let's see, how did I create those long descriptions? I should probably replace backslashes and line breaks, depending on whether they get created with text builder or just by putting in backslashes. So format something like this. Would be nice if that would be working. And strew.no is definitely not the right one, so that's not helpful. Wasn't there like, yeah, there we have the separator. So wouldn't that just be a replace long description, replace, and then we can't we do I thought there was an overload where I could define a list of chars to replace. but I guess that's also fine. Backslash 2. Is that how you do that? I always just did this without the slash and the space.
Yeah, I've seen it both ways. I normally just do BR.
Yeah.
I believe it's BR and then slash. This is what I always use.
And what do you guys use for this kind of scenario where you have a parameter the same as a field name? I usually just append in or incoming or whatever. But I've seen people using underscores but underscores more like for constants, right?
I usually just go with value.
Mm-hmm. Like completely like this, or
No, completely only value.
oh, just like this value.
Yeah. But does it need to have a descriptive name? It's a value that I want to convert to do something with. That's it.
Yes. Value, I'm a +1.
Yeah, for that scenario definitely. But if you have more parameters, value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, of course, then it's different because then
Yeah.
everything has a meaning. But here it's just only one value that you want to work on, one parameter. So
I like that, especially since that's like a word that's not a keyword. So
yeah, absolutely.
okay, so that's that. Now there was a question on YouTube, but what if you want to know what this value does when calling the function? I guess in this example, the function name describes exactly what's happening. So I think here I'm really fine. But if there are more parameters, then you probably want to describe which one does which, or does what, because it gets confusing otherwise. Right, next try. I probably also need some descriptions with line breaks, otherwise the test will be a little bit useless. Which one had that long description? Rule number 1. Which is rule number 1? Download code is not allowed. Okay, let's see. So this one this automatically picks up the line breaks with the backslashes. So in the normal text fields, it just works. And now here, it also works because of the replace.
Happy days.
I think that is feasible. Now let's maybe apply the same to the action recommendation. Or maybe the action recommendation will work just as a multi-line field, as a separate tab. Or maybe even on here, if I move the caption above that, so I can show that as well, how that works. Right, now, am I am, okay. Let's move that first to the last slot here. Put a group around it, action recommendation group, and Copilot almost did everything. Show caption false, and that should already be it. So you put in a separate group, and if you put groups within a group, it doesn't get its separate, I think, is it still called fast tab? But it will get like a header, like a bold text within that group, within that fast tab.
I call it fast tab, whether it's actually called that anymore, I don't know. Section.
I'm used to it. So
Cool.
I think that should do the trick. And if not, we can still change it. But I noticed that this is still an issue. The primary key is a integer number, big integer. So ideally the code would be there. So that's by setting the caption, data caption fields. I think the short description would be a little bit too long.
Happy streaming, Stefan. I'm going to go get some dinner. Take it easy.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
It was nice having you. And have a
Cheers.
nice weekend. Bye. How long was the short description? Yeah, I think 100 characters in the data caption fields would be a little bit too much. Wasn't it not the data caption fields? Sets the fields that appear to the left of the caption on pages that display the contents of this table. Not sure I understand what that means. The underlying tables data caption fields. Okay. Makes sense. Let's try this. There we go. I think I will change the short description as well. And then what I now thought about, is it possible to put a caption expression on a group? No. Too bad. Let's also maybe move this up a little bit. I must say it's a nice thing to be able to take your time. Something that simple like a page, if you don't have anyone you need to how to say that in English? If you have a customer needing to pay for this, you might not want to take that much time for a page design.
We should always do that to have nice pages, but I get your point. And if you know everything by heart, it's much easier and faster to do, of course.
Yeah. That doesn't look good, unfortunately.
It's also why I have now suggested a session for Days of Knowledge about knowing AL fundamentals. Because what you're doing now is, in fact, fundamental stuff. And probably there's no co-pilot who's going to help you with that.
It's like, if you've done something on the page already, like I did here, then if I do it again, Copilot is a help. But yeah, designing it from scratch, if you don't know how pages work, could be difficult.
Absolutely.
But I don't think like a session is good, but you need to design a number of pages or create a number of pages to be able to remember those kind of things, how this all works, because it's absolutely not intuitive. And then also when it comes to different page types, I'm very quickly very lost on what's working and what not. I think that is better. And I honestly, I don't understand why, if I hide if I hide the caption, that the background doesn't turn gray anymore. But I'm not sure if it's the group or if it's the caption, so let's give that a try. Because I can just hide the caption without the group around it.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. As soon as I hide the caption, the box doesn't have a gray background anymore. But it is like it is, so I can't change that part. Let's leave it like it is. Yeah, the alert card should not be searchable. So set the usage category to none.
Yep.
I remember when AL came around, that I really had a hard time with the application areas and everything, to understand that I still need to set the application area. And then if I tried to just remove this, and then it's complaining about you should set the usage category if you have an application area. No.
Yes, which is because of the way how application areas work.
I don't know.
It doesn't really. Well, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But users could be restricted for certain application areas, and then the page would not show up in the search results.
Yeah. But now, since we can have the controls default to the pages application area, I think this does make sense. But
Mm-hmm.
in case anyone wondered, this is how you do it. Right, so there's a card. Now, I wanted to remove the long text fields from the list page and also have, this is something different, then the short description not be a multi-line anymore, and remove the long description and the action recommendation. Let's also do a collapse here. Yeah, I think that is much better.
Looks nice.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to make that much of a difference. Interesting that it cut off the 6 here. Because of the style, I suppose.
It looks like it's a much bigger field because of the dots, the 3 dots. So yeah, it's cut off somehow.
I wanted to check if I can. I never played around with that actually, with the width setting. Does it take pixels or characters? Let's do 12 maybe. See if that looks better. If it even has any impact. I feel like it got longer. No, no difference. Okay. Let's see what the documentation says. In lists. The property only takes effect on pages of type list, list plus, list part, document worksheet. When the field control is used within a repeater, it has no effect on card page. It has no effect on list pages either. Alright, so let's scrap that.
Where is the field separated? If you try to enlarge the field, where does it stop? We can not see it right now.
Here.
Oh, there. Oh, that's strange. Huh. That's weird.
Yeah. And now can I reset my personalizations? Does it reset that as well? No. Nice. interesting to see where this is saved. Probably somewhere in the browser. Okay. Why did I do that on the... I had a in the promoted sections, I think. Do I split button or the ignore thing? Would make sense on the card page as well. And then I think the card page is done. I'm just now realizing that it must be a little bit weird in Discord if I'm not talking because the background music isn't there. The split button works as well. Okay, let's update the changelog. Edit card page for alerts and remove long description and action recommendation, the list page. The set, the alert table with the data caption fields, the entire card page, the list page with the card page with reference, and then also with the repeater changes. And then we have those two bags. I don't think I will need those. They're just for testing. Move them. Yep, that makes sense. Alright, let's have another look into the roadmap, but I think there is still, I wanted to create a role center for the alerts as well. And yeah.
So, Stefan?
Yes.
I'm gonna leave you to that, but when you are ready, I want to talk to you about that certificate thing.
I mean, you need to talk to me, or do you otherwise?
I want to talk to you about it.
Of course. Okay.
Because I have something to show you.
All right. I will let you know.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Take care.
Take care. Okay, so at some point I want to create a role center. Then I'm still not sure whether it would make sense to separate the rule implementations out into a separate app, but I think I will leave it like it is actually. And then, there are some more ideas for rules to be implemented. Let's see if the actions are running correctly. It seems so I can maybe later push this new version now to app source. And I mean, if anyone is looking into writing a separate extension with rules to add on top of the Sentinel base, just let me know, because I'm still a little bit hesitant of opening up the interface before I have a bunch of more rules to see if the interface is good as it is. But as soon as it makes sense or it's needed to open it up, I will of course do that. But then if you just have pull requests for rules, you can put them inside and then like PR them into the Sentinel itself, and then we don't need to open up right now. And yeah, I think I will wrap up the stream for today. I think we're close to hitting 2 hours, and don't need to have the stream running too long, right? So yeah, thanks everyone who joined on Discord. It was a nice try, nice experiment this time to just have a little bit of conversation. And also, like, if you're watching the stream afterwards, let me know how that worked out from a viewer's perspective, because it might drag me a little bit more into having a conversation instead of explaining my actions, like what I'm doing right now in the code, which is somewhat important to me to explain my train of thought for anyone that might be new to AL development or wants to pick up a few things maybe. So yeah, just let me know. Some feedback would be highly appreciated. And then yeah, I guess that's it for today. Have a nice weekend, everyone, and see you on the next stream. And in case you didn't bookmark this already or didn't see about it, next week on Friday, 2 p.m. Central European time, we have a conversation, a stream about Linux and BC development. I have with me another guest, so check it out. I think it will be fun. Right. Take care, everyone, and see you next time.